Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Broadcast.gg, where you get to see the greatest open division games happening to you right now. Right now, we have Gibby from iCarly versus Zephyr coming up, and it is going to be an exciting game, but I'm not alone. With me today, I have Nori and Suds and Bubbles are going to help break down these games before we get into it, and I am very excited. So, guys, right off the bat, what should I be excited about going into these games? Starting off with you, Nori.
Right, so Team Zephyr. We've had them on BGG before. They've done phenomenally well. They're also a team that's been doing very well in Open Division, and somebody that you should be looking out for, definitely it's GamerDark, right? He's quite well known. He's a projectile DPS, but he also does editing work for some OWL players and people like that. So he's pretty well known in the communities. Watch out for him. He's going to be playing on that support. On top of that, we've also got Freeze Dog on the Widowmaker, and we've seen him pop off a few times, so I'm really hoping to see that coming through once again. This team has only been together for about a month, so literally just before Open Division started, and yet they are still managing to show a lot of synergy and a lot of good teamwork despite that. So I'm really excited to see what we're going to see in this coming matchup.
And looking at the other side of that, Suds and Bubbles, why should we be excited looking at Gibby from iCarly, besides their amazing name coming into this series?
Oh, and what an amazing name it is. But in addition to that, this is a team has been together for about 3 months now. They've been scrimming 4 hours a day in that period of time. That's insane. They've been practicing hard for this. They've been playing in other tournaments and having really good results there as well. And a couple of the players on this team, DPS player and their main tank, actually brothers. So you gotta expect there's some natural synergy there. And besides that, they've got some former TF2 pros as well as Warframe pros. Like, they've got a lot of kind of pedigree coming into this. So in addition, from what we've been told, we've got Cameron and Emor from Zephyr actually have a pretty fierce rivalry going on. So it'll be exciting to see how that plays out throughout the match.
And I think these are going to be very exciting games for us to get into very quickly. Top of the round, you've seen very little of these teams. What do they need to do to win? Suds and Bubbles.
Wow, that's a massively open-ended question. It's a very difficult one to answer. I think that what they really need to do, and this is quite a standard for literally any team, right? Your coordination needs to be on point, your communication needs to be on point, and your ult tracking needs to be on point. If you got those 3 things, then you can do well.
I think you're absolutely right there, and the one other thing that's starting to become more prevalent here is finding those counter-picking, finding the way to beat the other comp that may not necessarily be just the mirror goats. There are other options here, and the teams that are able to flex like that are the ones that we're seeing have a lot of success in Open Division right now.
Well, I think this is going to be looking to get into a very exciting game here. Luckily, between all of us, we have lots to look forward to inside of these games. I think the casters are going to be very excited to go in here. So we are going to throw it over to them to let them handle everything that they need to do. We have Elite and Beatdown Boulevard coming through to you. They're going to give you the games, and it's going to be exciting.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much, Blake. Thank you, guys. Everyone on the desk, I am Elite. I am joined by Beatdown Boulevard. Beatdown, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Elite. I'm feeling so good. I just had some coffee, so I'm ready.
I know you just casted match 1.
I did.
And we'll be jumping into match 2 right now. And the casters covered a lot of it, but judging from the comps that you've seen back in match 1, what do you expect them to see from these 2 teams here in our second match of the day?
Honestly, I don't think I'm expecting very much different, Elite. It's going to be the GOATs for the most part, but I think now we're starting to see some map-specific compositions creep out. Farah Sombra seems to be really popular in the last map. Even the double sniper, which I don't think that's a very good comp at the moment, so I'm not sure we're going to see much of that one. But in general, I think the highlight is GOATs.
Well, we're going to be diving on to our first map. Right now, it's going to be Busan. It's going to be our control map. Just for anyone who is not aware, we have a 4-map pool. It's going to be Control, Escorts, Assault, and Hybrid. Control is our first one. It is going to be Busan. So as we're diving on to Busan, I know you just talked about how you saw a lot of GOATs back in match 1, and if there was any maps that support GOATs really well, it is Control, considering a lot of fight is done in on the Control points. But with that being said, what do you expect to see here from these 2 teams on Busan? Do you expect to still see a lot of GOATs?
I I somewhat do, but here on Sanctuary, it's actually no stranger to slightly different compositions. Like we've seen Dive, we've seen Wrecking Ball Diva compositions, the Farah Sombra, like I was referring to. This is actually, I think, one of the more flexible in terms of team compositions, in terms of our rounds in Busan. So I actually think we could see some variety around here, but the teams not even memeing us in the spawn are gonna just be on that Zen Ghost. They just not having my predictions today.
Yeah, no memes at all. As these teams start to select their heroes, it is going to be a pretty much complete mirror match as this one is about to get underway. Just for all the viewers at home, it is Gibby from iCarly facing off against Team Zephyr. Gibby from iCarly in the red, Zephyr in the blue. Here we go. Control going to get underway on Busan. These teams are going to come running out of spawn. We'll see who decides to go where. Over on the blue, that's Team Zephyr. They're going to go over to the right, while it looks like the side of Gibby from iCarly wants to swarm right on into the point. Cameron going up and immediately trying to throw the hammer up in the face of Team Zephyr, keeping the healing on him. Everybody swarming up to keep all the healing coming in from the GOAT's composition. The side of Zephyr being forced back. They'll swarm back over to the other side and start to rotate in onto the point. Point about to unlock. We'll see who it goes to as this one gets underway. Now the side of Zephyr is going to swarm in. It's going to be a brawl in here on the point as this GOAT's composition comes together. 6v6 in a complete mirror match. Everyone's swarming in behind the shield of Cameron to keep all of them alive. Still contesting the point are both of these teams. That has not went to either side yet. Not even a pick for either side, so no one's heavily committed. There's the first pick as we see a kill. Sound Barrier built up already for top. A big Earthshatter is going to come out from Cameron, though. We'll see if that's able to flip the fight, but I still see more kills coming out from the side of Zephyr. All kinds of ults coming out. They built him up so quick. Self-destruct into the Graviton Surge. Not able to get anyone, though. Still, no one has flipped the point, but I believe it's numbers right now for the side of Team Zephyr. Still the Zarya, Diva, and Brigitte in here for the side of Gibby from iCarly. Team Zephyr slowly cleaning up this fight. They'll take out the Diva and the Baby Diva. Now they just had to take out the Zarya of Adam. Still in here is the Baby Diva of Kuznetsov. They will finally take him out in a very long-lasting first fight, but eventually Team Zephyr does come out on top.
Really, I think the big thing to highlight here is how quickly the support ults came online for Team Zephyr. The fact that Todd got the beat before pretty much any other ult came online was so big. The shatter didn't even matter, and it gave enough time for its gamer dog to build the trance as well.
Self-destruct coming out, not able to get anyone with it. Transcendence coming out from Ginger. Cheek has this Earthshatter ready. We'll see if he can get a big one. Here it comes.
Oh.
I believe he only hit the, no, he hit the Zenyatta as well, and the Brigitte, but it doesn't really matter. They weren't able to really follow up on it. They're caught in the Graviton Surge, which is going to be answered by the Transcendence from its gamer Doc. Cameron is able to charge the Brigitte in 1-for-1 right now as this fight gets underway. We'll see who's able to come out on top. Adam trying to focus down the Reinhardt of Cheek, and will be able to with the help from Lewis on the Brigitte. Self-destruct comes out from Kuznetsov. The rally's going to come out from Lewis. Right now it is Gibby from iCarly coming out on top in this fight. They'll flip the point for themselves. 46% built up for the side of Zephyr, but Gibby from iCarly flips it.
Not a bad shatter from Cheek 22, but the issue is the lack of follow-up from Team Zephyr. The problem now is that they pretty much invested that shatter. They didn't get any value for it, still lost the point. Emor still looking good with this Graviton Surge, but double support ult is online from Gibby from iCarly, so the issue now is going to be, can they get through this sustain? Can they deny these support ultimates?
Emor 25 throws out the Graviton Surge, and it gets eaten by Kuznetsov, so a big defensive matrix there. The Graviton Surge is completely shut down. We'll see how the side of Team Zephyr can follow up on that. Its gamer Doc does get the first pick. There's a good shatter coming out from Cheek 22. Team Zephyr will follow up on that. Lots of kills coming out for them now. They should be able to clean up this fight. They're focusing down the Reinhardt of Cameron. They'll lock up that kill. Kuznetsov will get demeched. Team Zephyr will flip the point back for themselves.
The shatter was so big from Cheek. The fact that he got Ginger, who had the Transcendence, could not react in time to keep his team alive. Lost one member, then dying himself means there was no way they could have brought that fight. Even with ult, it's really hard to win a 4v6. So they retained that ult instead. It's back and forth right now for Team Zephyr holding the point. And they still have the bigger bang combo as well. Same could be said for Gibby from iCarly as well. So we're going to see how this works out for them.
Graviton Surge is going to come out from both teams. Self-destruct catches no one. Everyone throwing out everything they have. Toast will take out Cameron. That's a big tank gone. Big self-destruct there from Toast. Here comes the Earthshatter out from Cheek. He catches two with it. And Zephyr will follow up on that. This will be another one fight from Zephyr. We'll see if Gibby from iCarly can even regroup for a last second contest. They're going to push forward and try to keep them pressured in.
Cheek maybe shouldn't have invested that Graviton Surge, that Earth Shatter. Yeah, it was free because Cameron was down, but the issue is now no ults are really online for either side. This could have been Cheek's opportunity to overcome that with the Earth Shatter, but still, last fight, it's now down to who can build the ults faster.
Gibby from iCarly coming back in. They'll swarm onto the point. Like you said, it's a pretty much dry fight right now. We'll see who can build up the ults faster. Everyone's swarming and on the point. No one's committing just heavily yet. Todd over on the side of Zephyr does have that sound barrier ready. We'll see if they decide to engage off of that. I believe there's no shield for Cameron right now. Swinging around the hammer. Sound barrier is going to come out from Jan, but they're following up on that. Graviton Surge, everything coming out from the side of Zephyr. Caught a Graviton Surge now. Our team Zephyr as Gibby brings theirs out. Swinging the flail and the hammer inside the Graviton Surge. No, a big self-destruct for Kuznetsov. It's not over yet. The side of Gibby from iCarly is going to flip this point for themselves. They're not out of this yet.
Not at all, and Gibby from iCarly managing to not only charge ults quickly, but get better use out of their support ultimates. You saw them getting more aggressive with the sustain that they have and managed to pick up the kills when that wasn't really there for Team Zephyr. And now, still, Gibby from iCarly have quite the hill to climb, only 65% to Zephyr's 99. The thing is, Shatter and Bomb are online for Zephyr if they can get some value here. Oh, but it doesn't matter.
It's a good shatter that came out from Cameron, but Cheek's going to get taken out first. 2 kills already for the side of Gibby from iCarly, and they're completely chasing down Team Zephyr, keeping the pressure to the spawn. They're at 80%. The side of Team Zephyr is going to have to come out with everything they have if they want to force one more fight before this one is over. They're going to respawn and swarm back in. They have a shatter ready as well as a self-destruct. These Dog and Emor can probably build up their ults mid-fight as long as they stay alive that long. Swinging around the right side. It's going to be the very last fight of this first round. Cheek has this Earth Shatter ready. We'll see if he can get a big one. Here comes a self-destruct. Not able to get anyone. Caught in the Graviton Surge. Is some people over from Zephyr. Is Adam brought out that. First kill goes over to Gibby from iCarly. 2 kills now. They have a big advantage. It's Gamer Doc is going to bring out that Transcendence, but I don't know if it's going to keep all of his team alive. Gibby from iCarly coming out big in this fight. It's a 6v3 right now. Here comes Shatter from Cameron. Gibby from iCarly is going to take this fight. Toast is the last person in there. Baby Diva gets taken out, and it's going to be Gibby from iCarly taking round 1.
So much credit to Cameron there. You might have seen in that last fight, he was so aware of his surroundings, enemies all around him. He knows Cheek is to his left, swinging his hammer, trying to build the ult charge, but he's conscious of the Earth Shatter. Because of that, as soon as it goes off, he turns and blocks it, protecting him, whatever teammates were in the way at the time. And the fact is it kept them in that fight. That could have gone very differently. The round could have gone towards Zephyr, but it's like those little plays that really need to be highlighted. Things you should really expect out of your Reinhardt. And, since like you mentioned, I was casting the last game, and that was one thing I wanted to see more of the Reinhardts. More awareness of the enemy Earth Shatter, because it's such a big part of playing the Reinhardt in any Ryan v Ryan matchup.
So as we jump on to round 2, I'm going to throw it back to you here in just 1 second. Cheek making the swap over to Winston. I believe that's the only swap that was made. What do you think of that swap from Cheek?
Just because there's a lot of high ground to take advantage of here. Running the dive goats is probably a superior composition, just because you can take use of all the cleave damage from the Winston, poke them from the high ground. So far seems to be working out from the mid. It's 2 up right now for Zephyr.
They are off to a good start, and Cheek was able to dive in with the Diva of Toast and immediately focus down that back line. So good start for the side of Zephyr. They were off to a good start last round. We'll see if they can hold this one up here in round 2 after the side of Gibby from iCarly took round 1. So Cheek, we are going to get a quick pause here for a minute, but that's good. That means we can talk about this a little more. Cheek does make the swap over to Winston. So with it now being dive comp versus the Ryan Zarya over on the other side, Winston versus Ryan, what are some differences in these comp, and why do you think the dive comp is superior?
Again, I think the difference is going to be on how you approach the composition. Like you don't really play goats very slow to begin with, where you just kind of run with the tanks, but you play the Ryan goats slower than you would the Winston, because you have the shield, you make your way in. There is a bit of poke before you just go out for the brawl. But with the Winston, it's you don't really want to poke too much. You just want to get in there because there's no static shield. The Winston is all about dive pressure. He jumps in, the team converges on wherever he's going, and that's how you get the most of your damage off. So in the Ghost composition, you make use of the health pools and the fact that you just dive right in front of them, and that's how you end up winning on maps like City Center, I believe this is. So it's the fact that there's a lot of high ground to take advantage of. You can kind of see here, Cheek, well, I'm not sure if you can see what I'm seeing, but Cheek 22 is up on the building right now, already taking a really good position here. Very likely just going to jump onto the back of the supports, and without using any cooldowns, he'll be able to drop his bubble once he gets low, jump right out of there. That's some free damage for him. Or if his team dives with him well enough, chances are they're just going to get a kill off that.
Well, we're about to dive back into game, so we will see how this dive composition works out for the side of Zephyr. They hold the point as this one gets underway. The side of Gibby from iCarly will regroup and start to work back in. Yanba getting very, very close to having this sound barrier ready. We see all about to be ready over on the side of Zephyr as well. Cameron swinging around this hammer. He's trying to take down the big Winston of Cheek 22. Swarming onto the point now are Gibby from iCarly. Rally is going to come out from Fee's Dog to give all the extra armor over to the side of Team Zephyr, but it is the pick on the Cheek 22 as this fight gets underway. Caught in a Graviton Surge as well as a self-destruct. The good shield from Cameron's able to block that one pretty much completely. Right now it is Gibby from iCarly coming out on top in this fight. A Transcendence from It's Gamer Doc keeping his team alive for this time being, but it is still Gibby from iCarly coming out on top. They're just going to get the cleanup kills now. They'll flip the point for themselves. Good fight for Gibby from iCarly.
Because they played this fight so well, they just ran right past Toast and Cheek and didn't really worry too much about the Winston Diva. Managed to get a lot of pressure onto the backline. It forced out the grab, not a lot of value. Forced out the bomb, not a lot of value. So many ults, and not a lot really came out of it. On top of the swap from Cheek to the Reinhardt, they're so behind on ult charge right now, and there's a good chance that Gibby can gain a lot of charge off of this.
I was going to say, speaking of so many ults, there's a ton of ults ready on the side of Gibby from iCarly, and everyone was caught in the Graviton Surge from Adam. And with no Transcendence to come out from the Zenyatta from It's Gamer Doc, they were able to just swing the flail and the hammer in there and get all the easy damage in. So big fight from Gibby from iCarly, and they only had to use one ultimate.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you touched on that. That's so big right now because they still have so many key ultimates here. Cameron has a shatter. It can be a big part of Adam charging up another Graviton Surge, especially with it hitting so many people.
It was a huge shatter that came out from Cameron right there. They'll go in, they'll get a quick kill on the Fee's Dog. That's the first pick that comes out for the side of Gibby from iCarly. Cameron's trying to force their way back in. The side of Zephyr is just going to go ahead and back up following that. They don't want any part of that fight. They also still have no ults on their side, but it doesn't matter. Gibby from iCarly is still chasing them all the way back up to their spawn room. 70% now. We're approaching potentially the last fight of this first game, because if Team Zephyr can't win this fight, this is going to be game one over to Gibby from iCarly.
And it's really hard to imagine how they're going to be able to do that. Double support unavailable from Gibby. They're armored up at the moment. Both tank ults. Like, it's really hard. Losing Cheek too at such a crucial moment is really bad.
Cheek down already, and Gibby from iCarly will completely swarm off of that. Todd gone now as well. They're chasing them all the way back to the spawn room. 90%. I don't think it's even possible for anyone to make it to the point from this point. Todd just respawned. Here comes the rally up from Fee's Dog. They're going to have to get the speed boost. They're caught in the Graviton Surge, though. Emor25 is trying to go for the sneak around, but no one will make it onto the point. They capped the point after 50% being filled up for Zephyr, but it will be Gibby from iCarly taking game one.
So well played so far by Gibby from iCarly. Just even though the fact that, you know, especially the City Center round started off with the fact that, you know, they were losing a little bit to the dive ghost composition, they played against it very well. Like I was saying before, put a lot of pressure onto the backline. As soon as they got the advantage, they forced so many ults out of Zephyr who weren't able to get any value from them. So because of that, and some really stellar ult economy, they just managed to cycle their ults all the way until the very end, spawn camping them at the very end too. Part of the problem though, I think, was that Zephyr was just in general really passive past a certain point. You could see like Cheek was just kind of, you know, wasn't really moving forward as quickly as he maybe should have been. That's why it was so easy for him to get bursted down in that second last fight. It's such a crucial moment.
So, game one goes over to the side of Gibby from iCarly. We'll be jumping onto our assault map here in just a moment. It's going to be Dorado, I believe. So, jumping onto Dorado. Team Zephyr down 1-0 on Dorado. Do you think we'll continue to see 3 tank, 3 support, the GOATS composition, or do you think it'll be mixed up at all?
This is one of those maps where it could be mixed up, but at the same time, it could very well just be GOATS again. Teams are going to swap sides here, I guess, because of deciding who wants to attack first. So now it's going to be Zephyr in the red and Gibby from iCarly in the blue. So now, pretty much what I'm going to be looking for here is how well Team Gibby can actually, Team Zephyr can deal with the goats from Team Gibby because they seem to understand the top really well.
So we're gonna get a quick pause here in the game. Looks like they said, someone had connection issues. So while we get this quick pause, that'll give us plenty of time to break this down. So it will be the side of Zephyr on attack first. They're in red now. So Zephyr coming out on the attack. Do you expect to just see the normal three? I kind of just asked this, but now that we know who's attacking, who's defending, on the attack, the side of Zephyr, they were pretty much the only team that made a change when they made the swap from Cheek from the Reinhardt over to Winston. So attack here. Lots of people like to talk about how Dive is very strong on Dorado on attack, but now that we have plenty of time to break it down, what would you like to see from the attacking team here on Dorado?
What I like to see, I want to see a crazy quad DPS comp. What do I think?
I know we saw that in back in the first game.
Yeah, you were watching. Yeah, and it was a great time. But no, I'm not expecting very much to change, honestly. I think we're still gonna see mostly the 3-3. Probably the dive variant though. I would expect especially Zephyr to run that again, like they were trying to do it before. Hopefully they do, keep up the aggression we saw early on. It was really good from them. But that's going to be a big factor on whether or not it's actually going to work out for them. Because like I was saying before, Gibby from iCarly are actually playing it really well. I really particularly want to highlight Cameron. I'm starting to get why there are copy passes of him in the chat. This guy is pretty big brain. God.
So it will be the team of Gibby from iCarly on their defense. So we talked a lot about the attacking team of Zephyr. It will be Gibby from iCarly on defense. Do you expect any changes from them, or will it just be the standard 3-3 that we've come to expect from every team at this point?
I don't know. I really think it was I think it's going to be about style, really. And I haven't seen enough of these teams to predict the style. If I do think they're going to just play it safe, we're at a point in the open division where this is make or break for a lot of teams. This is the last weekend. So, no messing around. Just run what's going to work.
We are in round 9. Week 5, we'll see what these guys decide to come out with. Yanba selecting Soldier right now. I don't think he's going to play that. I think that's just for the meme. Looking at these teams, Emor25 on Bastion. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see that one either. Yanba will make the swap over to Lucio. So it will be the 3-3 GOATS composition coming out from the defending team of Gibby from iCarly. Remember, guys, Gibby from iCarly in the blue, Team Zephyr in the red now. We have had a team swap, so side of Zephyr on attack. It is going to be 3-3 from both teams as this one gets underway. Cheek will be on the Winston, though, so not a complete mirror match. Cheek on the Winston, no Reinhardt on the side of Zephyr. They will come on out, and the defense, they're just going to set up right here at the corner and not go for the high ground.
Well, actually, nope. Cheek realizes he doesn't want to. He would rather play the Ryan v Ryan matchup. It does make sense. It could be free shatters for Cameron if he didn't play the Winston correctly. So he's just gonna opt for this matchup, but is gonna go down.
It's a quick pick for the side of Gibby from iCarly, and they are gonna quickly follow up on that, picking up the kills over onto their side. 2 people gone from the side of Team Zephyr that allowed Gibby from iCarly to swarm in. They'll get those 2 quick kills. 45 seconds gone. They're gonna swarm around the left side now and go up the stairs, try to come from behind. They're gonna get a pick onto It's Gamer Doc. Will Gibby from iCarly. So again, they will swarm up. They know their win condition, and they immediately follow up on it. Again, a quick fight where someone on the side of Zephyr was picked, and Gibby from iCarly quickly follows up on it.
This is really bad so far. You can't lose somebody on rotations like that, because it just means you got to make your way back to the spawn, and that's so much distance for you to get picked off, like we were seeing on the Cheek here. So now, rotation again from Zephyr. This time, they're going to make it. Teams have swapped sides, technically. They made a little bit of a reversal here.
This side, there comes the Graviton Surge out from Emor. It's being answered by the Transcendence that came out from Ginger. So no kills picked up from the Graviton Surge. Now the side of Zephyr caught it, but it's a bigger shadow that came out from Cheek 22. We'll see if kills can come out from Zephyr following that. Big chaos in here in the room as they were fighting. Everyone swarms back in onto the point now. Cheek trying to focus down Cameron, but Cheek taken down low. And now 2 kills coming out from It's Gamer Doc, getting the fix on the Zenyatta. And this fight will go over to the side of Zephyr. They will finally get this payload moving.
Yeah, really big for It's Gamer Doc, getting some really big picks so far. Just tired of being spawn capped, I think. So, this is looking pretty good now. Zephyr finally moving the cart, but still 2 minutes off the clock. They haven't even made it through the underpass just yet. So, not a bad hold. Gibby from iCarly are coming back now with the sound barrier, with the shatter. I'm sure Adam is going to get the Graviton Surge in this next fight, so we're probably going to see that.
Cameron does have the shatter, like you said, so we'll see if he can get a big one here. Gibby swarming back in onto the point. Cameron looking for the shatter. He ate a stun. Now we'll see if he can get the shatter. They also have self-destruct and sound barrier ready. Ult's built up on the side of Zephyr as well, though. Caught in a Graviton Surge now. Adam brings out his self-destruct sent up as well. He drops the shield, but self-destruct's not going to be able to catch anyone. There's a shatter coming out. It's a big one from Cameron. The side of Gibby from iCarly trying to follow up on that. They'll get the first kill on the Feast Dog. A kill as well on the Cheek, and the side of Zephyr will be forced to completely run away after losing that fight. 2 people gone. They're still chasing down Toast. They want to try to get this D-Mech. Toast flies high and up above, and back into the spawn room they go. We're down to 60 seconds left, and the side of Zephyr a little over halfway to getting this first point.
Well, the problem with Zephyr now is that back then is that in that fight, they used both their support ults, but the problem is they stacked them on top of another. So you get significantly less value than you would have otherwise. So now 40 seconds left. They don't really have much to stand on here except for the bigger bang combo.
Graviton Surge came out from Emor, but Ginger answered it with the Transcendence. Cheek getting very, very close to having this Earth Shatter ready. He'll need a big one. Here it comes. I believe he caught 2 people in it. They're trying to follow up on it now. 1 kill apiece. Toast gets a kill as well with this self-destruct. So, numbers advantage lying with the side of Zephyr. They'll swarm in. They get the D-Mech on the Kuznetsov. They want to take out the Lucio of Yanba. They'll get that kill. They should be able to hit the first checkpoint off of this. So, it took them pretty much the full 4 minutes, but they will hit the first checkpoint.
Really dangerous situation, but they managed to come through with those early pickoffs. So now they get through. They still maintain the trend. So the ult economy on their end is not too bad at the moment. But now they're gonna have to be careful because Cameron's coming up to another Earth Shatter. And just in general, they need to get aggressive and try to put more damage into Cameron because he's getting away with too much right now.
Cameron and Adam completely swarming in here are the tanks. Cameron charging in. He'll get the pin on the Toast. That'll be the D-Mech. Toast will jump in while he's on the Baby Diva. So like you said, Cameron, he was, when you said it, already close to the shatter, but he has it now. Adam with the Graviton Surge, Kuznetsov with the self-destruct. We're about to see 5 ults ready for the side. Here comes the Graviton Surge right now. It's being answered by the Transcendent. Self-destruct won't get anyone. First kill will go over to the side of Team Zephyr. They'll have the numbers, or I'm sorry, first kill goes over to the side of Gibby from iCarly, actually. So Team Zephyr had to fall back into the point. And a big defense coming out from Gibby from iCarly here. They're not giving them any room to breathe. They're just camping the spawn doors.
Yeah, but Zephyr immediately recognizing this have already made the rotation to get themselves out of spawn. Emor does have the Graviton Surge, so they still have a chance here, as long as it doesn't get eaten, to get some real damage in here and get the cart moving.
Shatter's ready for both Reinhardts. Here comes the Graviton Surge as well as the Sound Barrier. Everything coming out here in this fight. We're down to 1 minute left, but so far no kills. An Earth Shatter's going to come out, and it's a big one that came out from Cheek. Zephyr needs to get in here and try to follow up on this while they have the opportunity. 1 kill apiece right now because Kuznetsov gets the mech. Baby Diva hanging out on the point. They'll get that kill. Meanwhile, over here on the other side, charging in his Cheek 22. He wants to try to take down the Zarya of Adam as well as the Lucio of Yanba. And here swinging around the hammer. They're trying to chase the side of Gibby from iCarly off of the point. And Team Zephyr will come out on top in a fight. They will get the payload moving, but they're only down to 45 seconds left.
Yeah, this time around, it was Gibby who used who stacked their support ultimates, and that's what gave them, that's why they lost the fight, because when the Shatter came out, they had nothing to sustain themselves. Still though, 30 seconds to go, Gibby from iCarly still have a good chance to mount a good defense here. Adam is coming up with this Graviton Surge, but actually both support ults are online for Zephyr too, so this is not the worst position to be in.
It's Gamer Doc can counter with the Transcendence. Cheek is very close. Here comes the Graviton Surge out from Adam, and there comes the Transcendence from It's Gamer Doc. So that's completely negated. The Shatter only hits one person. I believe it hit the Diva. That gets a D-Mech. Self-destruct will get 3 people. Big self-destruct from Toast. The side of Team Zephyr is not out of this yet. We'll see if they hit the first checkpoint off of this. I don't know if they'll make it back to contest. So I believe they'll hit the second checkpoint following a big self-destruct from Toast.
Yeah, exactly what they needed in this last fight. There's still a last-second contest here from Gibby. You're committing the trend already.
They are actually going to come in for a recontest. I didn't think they would make it back. Self-destruct comes out from Kuznetsov, and he'll get a kill of his own. Now the fight coming in here on the point. This is overtime, so no one can come off the point. If they lose this, then their attacking round is over. They're already down big in this fight. It is going to be Gibby from iCarly coming out on top. They'll step up the point for a little bit too long, but they were losing the fight anyway, so that will do it for round one. They almost take it to that second checkpoint. I thought they were going to hit it, but the side of Gibby from iCarly did not give up. They came back for the last second fight, and they are able to stop Zephyr on their attack. We'll see how Zephyr does on their defense now.
Yeah, when Dog goes down, like losing your break in such a crucial fight is so difficult because in the GOATS matchup, she's really important. Like the CC she offers, the AoE heal, the armor pack. It's too crucial to lose at such an important time because you lose a lot of that sustain all of a sudden. Like I know in the GOATS matchup that, you know, losing one person just in general is detrimental, but I feel like particularly like Break and Zarya, and obviously without I don't have to tell you Ryan is one of those heroes, but the point is like when you lose one of those characters, it's even more detrimental than losing your Lucio or your Zen, in my opinion.
So, Gibby from iCarly on their attack now. They're going to have to take it pretty much all the way to the second checkpoint to take the win here on match 2. So, the side of Team Zephyr going to be on their attack. Let's take a look at the compositions here, but not that we expected much of a change. I still see a 3-3 for the most part.
Well, I was going to say don't trust the attacking spawn, but honestly, no jokes here from Gibby from iCarly. They're just standing at the spawn doors too. These guys just want to finish and go home, it looks like.
So, Gibby from iCarly, they will come out on the 3-3. They're going to take it to the second checkpoint. It was a very, despite being a 2-0, it was back and forth. Back on game 1, back on Busan. So we'll see how it goes here on Dorado. They're going to start their attack. We see the side of Zephyr setting up on the corner, just like the side of Gibby from iCarly did. Cameron immediately rushes in there and swings around the hammer. Everyone will follow in on him. Setting up at the corner are Team Zephyr. No one's committing heavily just yet. These Reinhardt's trying to build up their ultimates along with the rest of the side. Cameron about halfway there already. Cheek is down very, very low. Cheek getting healed up. They're very slowly moving this payload as they just kind of poke each other in and out here. But it will be a kill for each side now. Todd gone as well. Kills coming out for Gibby from iCarly. Trying to focus down the Diva of Toasty. Gets D-Mech. Baby Diva in here on the point. They killed everyone else. They get that kill. Big first fight for Gibby from iCarly. They'll get this payload moving.
I think part of the reason we're seeing a lot of struggle here from Zephyr is the fact that a lot of that goes to Ginger. And because if you notice that Cheek 22 almost always has the Discord orb on him. And the same cannot be said about Cameron. Cameron keeps his shield up. He seems to not even be the focus of the discorded target, but that's the opposite in Cheek's case. Cheek is discorded, that's why it's so easy to kill him.
Caught in a Graviton Surge now are the side of Team Zephyr. All kinds of kills coming out for Gibby from iCarly. This fight is over before it even got started. Again, it's just a Toast of Diva. They take out the baby. It's just a Diva of Toast. Team kill bell rings across the map. That fight was over before anything even got underway. They hit the first payload pretty easy, or the first checkpoint pretty easily. 5 minutes left. They only have to take it to the second checkpoint. We'll see what Team Zephyr does on their defense.
This is a lot of time for them to work with here. So far, Gibby are in a really good spot, but a lot of ultimates online for Zephyr at the moment, so they still have the opportunity to stabilize themselves, hopefully use their ult advantage that they have currently to cycle their ult correctly and just last until the end of the round.
Rally comes out from Lewis. Self-destruct comes out from Toast. We'll see if it is going to be able to catch two. The self-destructs from Toast. He gets the D-Mech as well. It's been his day for the self-destructs. Zephyr now chasing down the rest of Gibby from iCarly. They'll clean up this fight, so they're not going down without a fight. Toast with another big self-destruct will shut down the big push from Gibby from iCarly.
What makes this even worse for Team Gibby is the fact that Cameron invested that Earth Shatter. Wasn't sure about whether or not his team would survive the bomb, but he was hoping maybe to stop any follow-up with the Shatter, but it got no value. They lost 2 members, and now they're shattered.
It's a big Earth Shatter that came out from Cheek. It was answered by the Sound Bear that came out from Yanba, but the fight is still going on. Toast diving on into the back lines. He'll get sent back by the flail from Lewis. Cheek still swinging this hammer around. Adam does have this Graviton Surge, so I'll look for this for him to bring this out. Adam does lock up the first kill onto Cheek 22. Now trying to focus down the Diva, but here comes the Graviton Surge. It's answered by the Transcendence from Gamer Doc. Emor brings out the Graviton Surges as well. Both self-destructs are going to come out. Toast again will take out 2 people with the self-destruct. Toast now diving back in, trying to take out the Brigitte and the Lucio that are left from the side of Gibby from iCarly. So again, another fight won by the side of Team Zephyr, and again, another big self-destruct.
Yeah, so much of this is because of Toast finding so much value. It's literally in the last couple bombs, he's always found at least 2 kills, and that's so fight winning. Just getting all that value off of one ultimate. Now, Gibby are coming back here with the rally. They have the shadow from Cameron, but this time around it needs to find something.
Rally coming out from both sides. Cameron does have the shatter, like you said. Here it comes. It's completely blocked by Cheek22. So no value on the shatter, but they're still moving the payload. Adam will get the first kill on the Cheek22. The side of Team Zephyr now being forced to back away following their big Reinhardt down. They take out Zarya as well. It's Gamer Doc gone as well. So Gibby from iCarly, we're approaching potential last fight territory. If Gibby from iCarly wins this fight, the side of Team Zephyr needs to hurry up and get back to the point. They want to at least set up one last fight. They'll get sped back in by the Lucio. It's going to come down to the wire here. They'll come in for one last fight. 2 ults ready for both sides, and Cheek is very close to his Earth Shatter. Sound Barrier is going to come out from Yanba as this one gets underway. Caught in a Graviton Surge, answered by the one as well from Emor. Self-destruct out above. Kuznetsov gets a kill with his Earth Shatter is going to come out. He's able to catch Cheek and Todd with it, and Gibby from iCarly is coming out on top. Big in this fight. Toast, that with self-destruct, isn't quite able to get all 6 people, which is pretty much what they would need now. It's only Toast in here. He will get demeched, and going all the way, they will take the win here on Dorado. Gibby from iCarly goes up 2-0.
Really good play from Gibby. A little shaky at the start here, not really figuring out how to deal with the the self-destructs coming out from Zephyr, but they managed to get it together. And on top of that, just a few mistakes from Zephyr in general. Again, not keeping that Discord on the Rhine, questionable ult usage here and there. Is still in such a 5 minutes to get all the way through the streets phase. That's a lot of time. So it was really difficult for them in the first place. So you couldn't really afford to make mistakes like that.
5 minutes is a lot of time. We see a lot of teams stall out there at that second point, but Gibby's able to take it all the way. So we're right at halftime right now. Gibby from iCarly up 2-0. We're going to throw it to our desk so they can give us a little bit of a breakdown. So over on the desk, we have Blake, Nori, and Suds and Bubbles. Blake, what'd you guys think?
Thank you so much, guys. It was an exciting match, to say the least. I am here with Nauri as well as Suds and Bubbles. I'm excited, guys, because you're going to break down all the little detail and questions that I have that are going to enlighten us all about what we just watched, because it was an exciting game. So starting off right off the bat, Nauri, I have a question for you. What happened game 1? We came into there and it looked very close. What happened? What can we look for?
So something that I want to point out was the supports on either team. The supports were doing phenomenally well, and you could really see that more so than ever on that very, very, very first map, the first engage. That fight went on for so long that 6 ultimates were managed to be used, and still the point had not been capped. And fights can only go on that long if your supports are doing what they're supposed to do, and that is keeping you alive. Yes, the damage is important. Yes, the tanks protecting you is important, but the supports were doing so much there to really meld it all together. Something that I do wanted to point out, however, was the Reinhardts. I felt like they kept getting caught out over and over again. Sometimes they were a little too far forward, being a little bit too aggressive. Sometimes, as our casters mentioned earlier, Zen, Discord, or not always being on the Reinhardt at the right time. Little slip-ups like that. And somehow the Reinhardt still kept getting taken out first. Almost every single fight. And yes, you may argue that, well, Nari, isn't that the point? Shouldn't Reinhardt die first in GOATs? Yeah, absolutely. But you should know that, right? You should know my Reinhardt is going to get focused down. I need to make sure that I'm protecting him. My bubbles need to be good. My harmony orbs need to be good. My matrixes need to be good. I need to be making sure that my Reinhardt lives, because the whole composition is pivoting around him. And that's been a big issue that I noticed most particularly on Busan. Okay,
Suds. So I have a question for you. The first set of maps, they looked fairly close. Like we came in with a 99-99. The second map was not nearly as close, and then we get into the second game and there is spawn camping happening. What was the breakdown that occurred that slowly started to degrade going through these games?
I mean, I think part of it is Gibby from iCarly having such good coordination as well as aggression and seeing the kind of like mistakes and lack of coordination coming out from their opponents. They were able to press those advantages, increase their aggression, and by the time we get to their defense on Dorado, they just go for the spawn camp right off the bat. They feel confident that they're going to be able to outplay this team, out aggress them. And we saw that Zephyr had to build up ultimates just to get out of spawn. They got held there for 2 full minutes. It was really insanity. Gibby from iCarly just really doing a good job, especially as Nauri said, their supports keeping their tanks alive and just allowing them to stay in these fights and stall them out for a long period of time and burn all of that time off of the clock.
Another thing to note, especially for that second map, was they tried to do a mirror spawn camp once the sides swapped. And of course, it didn't go as well. We had Cameron using a lot of good cover, managing to stay alive. And unfortunately, on the reverse side, the Reinhardt was taken out way too quickly and payload started to move. Interestingly enough, what we did also notice was from Gibby, or rather from Zephyr, they finally started realizing how to use Grav Diva Bomb. We didn't really see that on Busan, and then suddenly on the next map, they were using it left and right, and it was getting a whole lot of picks. So that's something that they also need to look out for. Their combos, those are super powerful in this game. If you can get them right, you got to be doing it.
So looking to these next games, Zephyr is definitely down, and they need to make a comeback. What are the things that they need to do in order to kind of put Gibby on their heels and start to take some of these games?
I think a big part of it is going to be their Reinhardt playing things a little bit safer. Because when he's aggressing, he doesn't have the same support that we're seeing given to Cameron a lot of the times. And that's why he is dying early in these fights more often than not. So I think he needs to play a little bit safer. His supports need to help him out a little bit more, make sure he's getting the healing he needs. His Zarya needs to be giving him those projected bubbles. Really, GOATS is a game of protect your Reinhardt so he can protect you, and that's really what they're going to need to improve on if they want to start taking some of these maps.
Okay, well, we have some exciting games coming up here. We're going to throw it back over to the casters where they are going to break down everything that you are going to be seeing in front of you. It's going to be exciting. Have fun, Elite and Beatdown Boulevard.
Thank you guys so much on the desk for the in-detailed analysis of those first 2 games. So we'll be diving on to Assault. 2 control points here in just a moment. It's going to be Hanamura, Gibby. As long as what I'm looking at is correct, they will be attacking first, so they'll be back over on the red side. So Hanamura, 2 control points. I'm gonna continue to ask this just to see if you think there will be anything different. But what do you expect to see from these 2 teams? Is it just going to be another 3-3?
All right, Elite. This might shock you, so I hope you're sitting down.
Okay.
They're probably going to play GOATS.
I knew it.
Yeah, you did. I mean, like,
go ahead.
No, there's some pretty interesting point A compositions in Hanamura. Like, we've seen some really DPS heavy comps for point A. We've seen like that Zarya solo tank Doomfist comp that was really crazy in Chinese. I want to say Open or Contenders Trials last season. That was kind of crazy, and that was really popular for a while. But I mean, with Doomfist in his current state, I doubt we'll see anything like that. It's just really hard to see why they'd go to this point. I kind of hope I'm caster cursing it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would hope so as well.
Yeah.
So Zephyr down 2-0. So we're gonna have to see them win 3 games in a row. They want to take the win here in this series. So being down 2-0, if they just continue to run the 3-3 GOATS composition on both sides, what do you want to see Zephyr do to fight their way back into this?
Discord Cameron, please, for the love of God. He's just doing too much, and I once I noticed, I started watching him. It's rarely on him. So I think like that's got to be your primary Discord target, unless like Zarya uses her personal bubble and you think you can just melt her. But beyond that, Reinhardt, always the main tank. Keep him discorded, put the damage, pressure him so they have to back off, or you can just straight kill him. Either way, there's so much to be gained from in the GOATS comp, especially just focusing the main tank.
Cameron, he's been up on the front lines. So he's been beating down everybody on the Reinhardt. So they talked about this a little bit on the desk. we've seen big self-destructs come out from Toast, and sometimes they were in the combo, sometimes they weren't. But the big self-destructs that have come out from Toast, what can the side of Zephyr do to try to follow up on those or get those to happen a little more? I know that it's hard to try to plan out a self-destruct, but Toast has seemed to do so well. And then what else can Zephyr do to try to fight the way back into this, aside from Discord and Cameron, obviously?
Well, yeah. Honestly, like, I really feel like a lot of it comes down to that, just because of the fact that they aren't able to apply enough pressure to Cameron and by extension Gibby. So because of that, it's so hard for them to actually get much done, because Cheek is the opposite. The Discord is always on him. It's glued to him. And because of that, it's so easy. Just swing through the shield and get enough damage in that he dies. You lose your Rhine. That's a wrap.
Well, we're waiting on these guys to dive in a game here. Gibby from iCarly, they're up 2-0. What has Gibby done so well that they're up 2-0 in this match right now?
Well, I really like the coordination we're seeing out of them. They play these comps really well. They're really smart with their ult usage as well. Like, they cycle their ults I think I said I used the word stellar, and I still want to use it. Like, it's really good to see it from them. Like, you have 4 ults. You'll see them use the Baker Bang combo. Like, that's it. They'll commit that. They'll make that work, and they don't use any more unless obviously it's absolutely necessary. But stuff like that is what you need to do, especially when, these comps are so high damage, high fast pace, to the point where ults do come and go, but you need to cycle them properly regardless.
Good ults economy, and this can be said for pretty much any top tier Overwatch player. But Adam builds up. He's been playing a lot of Zarya. He has built up ults so quickly. He's built up a couple in just one continuous fight. So yeah, big play from Adam and big ult economy from the side of Gibby from iCarly. So diving on a Hanamura right now, it will be Gibby attacking first. Every single match that I have casted in Open Division has been a 3-0. I have not casted a hybrid once throughout all of Open Division, so I hope that changes. But it will be Gibby from iCarly. Team Zephyr on defense first. We'll see what these guys decide to come out with. Hard to get a judge from their compositions right now, but if eMore25 does play this, and we have seen people run this, he's coming out on the Mei right now. What do you think of this choice?
Oh yeah, Mei on Hanamura defense, nothing new about that. Mei is really just, in general, very good on maps where her wall is the size of the choke that the team has to go through. So it's so easy. You just hide, they walk through, put up the wall, half of the team is separated. So easy. You take a 6v3, you win.
Yeah. So we will see if eMore25 can get these walls set up, and we'll see if they can get a good defense here. We'll see if they decide to come out with this. I hope they do, because I don't think we've seen a DPS this entire time. Adam on Hanzo and Lewis on Pharah, and they're coming out. Oh, it is going to be 2 DPS coming out from the side of Gibby. What do you think of this?
I like it a lot, because it's actually really... I'm not sure if they were expecting the Mei, but this is a really good way to deal with it. Like, one, the Hanzo and the Pharah do better long-range damage against a comp like this. They're going to win the poke. On top of that, there's so much mobility involved here that the ice wall doesn't mean as much as it would unless it was against a ghost comp, and eMore going down means the ice wall doesn't matter at all.
That's a quick pick already from Lewis. Another one as he takes out It's Gamer Doc. 2 kills already from Gibby from iCarly. They'll swarm into the point. Following that, Toast is turning around trying to take down the Pharah of Lewis, but it's all kills coming out from Gibby from iCarly. A complete 6-0. So they might not have been expecting the Hanzo Pharah, and obviously that might show. Big first attack already for Gibby. They're going to take point A. They're going to look to snowball this. They're going to have a rocket barrage ready from Lewis. Hot start for the side of Gibby from iCarly.
Yeah, because Gibby, I actually think Gibby predicted... Oh, no, Adam, my dude. And just like that, the snowball potential is gone. Gibby is going to have to back up. But still, good play from them in general. The fact that they were it was really smart of them to just expect the Mei. Like, yeah, it's very common on a map like this. So you just run a projectile comp, a spammy comp. So it's really good at long range. But eMore, making a good swap onto the Widowmaker, manages to take out Adam as he comes back.
eMore on the Widow and Dog on the Sombra. So we're finally seeing some DPS picks here in these games. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. That's a lot of time for them to come in and try to take this second point. for Gibby from iCarly. They do have the Rocket Barrage ready from Lewis, about to have the Dragon Strike ready as well. Here comes the Valkyrie out from Yanba. They'll swarm in here and get this fight underway. Here comes the Dragon Strike. It's coming around under the middle. It'll take out Totes. Lewis gets taken out mid. Rocket Barrage. Spawn advantage, of course, lying with the side of Zephyr. Getting nanoed is Winston, or is Cheek 22 on Winston, trying to take out the Kuznetsov of the Diva. He brings out the self-destruct, not able to get anyone with it. Lewis takes out Feazdog, so still coming out for the side of Gibby from iCarly, but they're losing people as well. And of course, the spawn advantage lies with the defending team. And at this point, they've got enough kills that this fight, or this push, is pretty much shut down. So it was off to a decent start. Adam got a kill with his Dragon Strike, but in the end, the side of Team Zephyr will hold off the first fight.
Well, first of all, Emor on this Widowmaker is a really good choice. He's obviously very competent at the hero. Managed to get a lot of stall picks in the sense that it bought a lot more time for Zephyr to just regroup and actually not get snowballed. Then makes the swap onto the Tracer just to quickly get back on the point, that high DPS. And I think the worst part for Gibby is that they had the opportunity here, but Cameron died just before he got the Primal Rage up. That sustained that knockback potential might have actually put them over the top here, but he's just going to opt to use it now.
So here we go. They're coming in for their second push. Diving in is the Primal Rage Cameron. He's trying to take out the Zenyatta. Vince Gamer Doc, he's got him pinned. He'll come out of the Primal Rage. The self-destruct comes out. Able to get Ginger is Toast. Another good self-destruct. Primal Rage comes out from Cheek. So another good defense coming out from the side of Zephyr. They'll clean up this fight. Lewis in here on the Brigitte. He'll get taken out. Now it's just the Winston and the Baby Diva. Cameron knocked down below. He'll get taken out. No tick. Again, no tick filled up. Another good fight held off. We see them swapping over to the 3-3, and there goes Feazdog as well. He was on the Sombra, but he makes the swap over to the Brigitte. But Todd is over on the Ana. First time, this is the first game that we have seen Ana, though.
That's right, and I mean, the thing that sucks for Zephyr, but it's good for Gibby, is the fact that Zephyr committed a little too much in that last fight. But Gibby know this. That's why they were okay making swaps here, because they're not too far behind in terms of ult economy in general. So now it's just going to be the Zen Goat's Mirror with the, instead of the Lucio, the Ana.
Well, that was a huge Graviton Surge that came out from Emor 25, and there was no Transcendence from Ginger to keep his team healed up through it. So another big fight for Zephyr. They will keep them all pushed back. They did use the Graviton Surge as well as the Nano Boost, but another good defense. They started this push, did Gibby from iCarly with about 620 left. About almost half of that time is gone. So Team Zephyr putting up a good defense so far.
Yeah, now Todd's going to make the swap now that the Nano's been committed to the Lucio. So now we have the Zen Goat's Mirror. And just in general, good ult usage so far. Unfortunately, Cheek Shatter's not going to find the mark.
It is completely blocked, but they will still get a kill on the Cameron. So again, off to a decent start. Our Team Zephyr, they'll take out the Yanba of Lucio as well. They're dropping in. They want to take out Zarya, Adam on Zarya. They'll get that kill. Another fight won by the side of Zephyr, and that was with a block shatter.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like, Zephyr in general is just focusing Cameron a lot better. You see him getting melted easier this time, especially in a fight where, you know, Cheek was taken out of the fight, but it doesn't matter. As soon as Cameron dropped the shield, he was taken out and focused down. That's what Zephyr needs to be doing more and more, and so far, like, you see it's working for them. But by sheer ult advantage, Gibby are just going to run their way onto the point and might still be able to take this.
Gibby coming back in, and they do have a lot of ults ready, just like you said. The self-destruct is going to take out 3. Kuznetsov bringing out the self-destruct now is Toast. He'll get 1, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Huge numbers advantage for Gibby from iCarly. They take out It's Gamer Doc. It's only Emor 25, and he's completely running away. Doesn't want any part of this. Trying to come in for a stall now. A just complete stagger onto the point are the side of Zephyr. Feazdog makes the swap over to Ball. Coming out from an Earth Shatter is Cameron. They're caught right now in a Graviton Surge, but Ginger with a good Transcendence is gonna negate that. Feazdog gets taken out on the Ball. Emor 25 taken out as well. Continuing the stagger, they'll try to take this they'll try to take this time down as much as they can. Halfway filled up on the third tick are the side of Gibby from iCarly, getting very, very close. Feazdog jumps back in. Self-destruct is going to come out. It'll take out Feazdog. Coming in on the Tracer now is Emor 25, trying to keep this stagger alive. Cheek will come back in as well. Emor 25 will get taken out on the Tracer. There goes Cheek. At the very last second, coming back in is Toast. He'll get D-Mech. It's Gamer Doc fades back in. Stagger after stagger after stagger right now from Team Zephyr to keep this one alive as long as they can. Feazdog in here on the Ball. They'll take him out, and that will be enough. They will get this third and final take. It took them a while, B, but they will finally capture point B. Will Gibby from iCarly.
Yeah, you saw the emergency swaps there onto the Tracer, onto the Wrecking Ball, managed to shave a little time off the bank, which, I mean, if that was a losing fight anyway, that's all you can ever really hope for. So now, Gibby from iCarly still finished with above a minute. If they manage to hold here, or manage to prevent Zephyr from finishing before overtime starts, they have a much better chance of winning here. So just overall, this is not a bad position to be in here, unless Zephyr just manages to pop off and get like a 6-minute finish.
Yeah, entirely possible. They did come in with 6 minutes left on their attack, like we talked about. Gibby from iCarly came in with 6 minutes. So good defense from Team Zephyr. They're down to 120 left. Our Gibby from iCarly. Now, Team Zephyr will come out. It is their turn to attack. It's hard to get a judgment with so much time left. Toast is on the Sombra, and we did see them run Sombra on their defense. We don't know if they'll run it, but do you expect to see the plane 3-3? This is the first time we've seen DPS. What do you expect to see from them on their attack?
Well, it seems like they might be liking the comp, but now in this next round is a bit more of predictions going on here. I think that's why on the defense they're just sticking to the Zen Ghost, not going to try anything fancy. Toast, on the other hand, very likely on the Sombra, just to scout. He's going to make his way out while his team waits in the spawn room, gets the okay to either stay or switch or whatever they might decide to do. But yeah, it's very likely that Toast is just going to be scouting. Going to see him make his way around the corner, getting speed boosted even. Very smart.
Well, he does come out on the Sombra. He translocates completely back, and he does make the swap over to the D.Va. Understandable. We've seen him play very, very well on the D.Va. They get the split. They see there's no Mei. It's the standard 3-3. So, Cheek swinging this hammer, pushing in here. He's got the Harmony Orb on him. We'll see when they decide to commit to a fight and push in through the choke point. Like we said, no Mei, so they don't have to worry about the wall blocking them off. We'll see. There comes Cheek. Oh, he's trying to push in, but it got booted back by the Yanba there. And there's a kill from Cameron on a Feez Dog. So down a man, they'll be forced to back up.
A little too aggressive from Feez Dog there. Getting in and taking in so much damage. So now he's going to have to go back to the spawn room. That's a lost fight and time wasted too for Team Zephyr. Now Cameron already such a quick Earth Shatter, where if you look at Cheek, only a quarter of the way there.
Yeah, Cheek only 26%. It's like he didn't land a single fire strike during that entire initial push. Cameron does have this Earth Shatter ready. Here it comes. It's completely blocked by Cheek 22. Now Zephyr swarming in following that, but Cheek 22 will be the first one to go down. Cameron does have that Discord Orb on him like you talked about, but being down a man, Zephyr doesn't want any part of this, especially losing their big Reinhardt. So they'll back up, swarm back into spawn. 90 seconds gone from their attack, and they've made virtually, well, not virtually, they have made no progress. Cheek only 41% towards his Shatter.
The thing, Cameron charges so quickly, I think the idea was hopefully that they wouldn't have shield up in the first place. Bigger bomb combo online, and we're gonna see it from Team Gibby.
Graviton Surge brings out the Shatter. Self-destruct does take out Cheek, coming out from Kuznetsov. So again, the Reinhardt is down, and again, Team Zephyr forced to back away. They brought out the Graviton Surge, did the side of Gibby, and it was answered by the Transcendence from its gamer Doc. Now Emore25 does have his Graviton Surge, but Ginger also with his Transcendence ready.
Yeah, Gibby having double support ult is a little bit dangerous here. Adam, who just ulted, is halfway to another grab, by the way. So overall, Emore's grab needs to be so big.
Earth Shatter is going to come out from Cameron, who had already built up another one. Kills are starting to come out from Zephyr, though, so this might be their fight. They did lose the mech of D.Va on Toast. They'll get the D-mech on the Kuznetsov, though, and it looks like Gibby realizes this is a lost fight. They'll back up and get ready for defense on point B. So Zephyr doesn't cap it quite as quickly as Gibby from iCarly did, but they do eventually cap point A, and they'll make their attack on the point B.
Yeah, lucky for them. They got the mech. Sorry, they got Toast out of his mech, so he had to go for the reset. We're not going to see a snowball as a result, despite the ultimate that are online here for Zephyr. The fact now is that they can probably try to engage with the self-destruct, or Cheek might go for some kind of Earth Shatter if he can get past Cameron's shield. So that's pretty much how this next fight is likely to go.
They do have some ults ready on their side. They're going to look to snowball this. Graviton Surge is going to come out from Adam and catches a couple people in it, but they're not going to get any kills. Cheek is able to catch Lewis as well as the Yanba of Lucio. So 2 kills already for the side of Team Zephyr. They're looking to snowball this. They get the D-mech They're trying to lock up the kills now onto Lewis. They just need the baby diva of Kuznetsov. They're going to start to fill up these ticks. They're definitely going to get one. Starting to come in for a stagger now are the side of Gibby. Cameron charging in. He'll charge back off, though. Self-destruct comes out. Not able to catch anyone. Will Toast. He'll hop back into his mech, though. Graviton Surge comes out from Emor. Only caught the wrecking ball of Adam, but that's enough for them to lock up that kill. Earthshatter's going to come out from Cameron, and it's a huge one. The self-destruct as well is going to take out Emor. So Cameron, with a huge Earthshatter, they're going to flip this fight. So the stagger's going to work out. They come back in, a big Earthshatter from Cameron. They do get one tick, but a good defense, a good fight there coming out from Gibby. Big Earthshatter from Cameron.
That is so big because Cameron gets knocked off the side there, and the fact that Zephyr don't pay any attention to him anymore. He's out of their way, but you should at least be in the back of your mind. Unfortunately, too preoccupied with the fight. Cheek is just swinging, trying to get as many of them off the point as he can. Gets hit from the back by Cameron's Earthshatter. It was too big. On top of that, they broke Emor's shield before it could actually just absorb the damage of the bomb.
Well, Zephyr's going to come back in. The Earthshatter, I believe it might have hit Lewis. Another big Earthshatter coming out from Cameron. The side of Gibby from iCarly follows up on that. He builds up another shatter before they even get back to 2-point B for another fight. And again, another huge Earthshatter from Cameron. And again, another one fight for Gibby from iCarly.
Huge 6-man shatter from Cameron. Goes immediately for the counter. Cheek got one person with his, so he wanted to try and go for the kill, but that's what Cameron wanted him to do. Immediately, gets a slam of his own. It's so big. Winning the fight while trading Earth Shatters is exactly what you love to see.
Coming back in for another push, but Dog is dead already. There goes Todd, and this fight is over before it even got started. Dog got picked off early, and that fight was just a complete slaughter for the side of Gibby.
And now no ults were expended in that fight as well, so that's just pure ult charge gain for Gibby. Now they are going, look at Cameron. That's got to be like his 4th or 5th shatter. He can't keep getting away with this.
Another shatter built up from Cameron. They used their last shatters at the exact same time. Cameron already has another one. Cheek is at 40%. So they have 3 ults already on their side. Team Zephyr, they're about to have the Surge and a Self-Destruct as well. Here comes the rally out from Dog, coming around the right side. The Earth Shatter misses from Cameron. So we'll see if the side of Zephyr decides to swarm in off of that. Both teams are going to bring out their rally. No one has committed heavily just yet. Toast is going to get demech. Self-destruct is going to come out from Kuznetsov. Oh, it's 4 people. A huge self-destruct from Kuznetsov. They'll clean up the final 2 kills. And again, Team Zephyr is shut down by Gibby.
Huge credit to Cameron for pinning Cheek out of the grab. No shield, no problem. Kuz gets the 4-man kill and one more for good measure. Such a good position to be in. True, they are a little down in terms of ultimates, but Cameron's about to get his, I don't know, millionth shatter of the day. And on top of that, double support ult means Gibby still have a chance to sustain themselves while they build up more ultimates, as Adam is pretty high charged.
Ult economy does lie with the side of Team Zephyr, does lie with the side of Team Zephyr. Here comes the sound barrier, a good shatter coming out from Cheek. They'll follow up on it, but here comes the Transcendence out from Ginger to answer it.
Ooh.
The Graviton Surge gets eaten, though, by Kuznetsov. Self-destruct isn't able to catch anyone, and it's another huge Earth Shatter coming out from Cameron. Another fight won by Team Gibby. Todd gets locked up at the very end. Less than 60 seconds, 45 seconds left on their attack. If they cannot come in here and cap this point B, they will lose this match here in Open Division. And the only ult that they're going to have ready, which isn't completely built up yet, is the rally of Dog.
And here's the problem. They used so many ults in that fight and got literally nothing for it. The denial from Gibby was so good. They ate the grab, blocked the shatter. We're going to see a roast. Actually, no, Zephyr kit. Looks like they got booped. So now they're going to have to go around the side here. But Adam is waiting for the grab. Yanba with the double boop.
A huge boot from Yanba, and that's going to do it. This fight is over. It's only Toast on the Diva. He's trying to jump back in onto the point, but it doesn't really matter. He gets demech. They'll clean up that kill. 5 seconds left. No one's going to make it back. Gibby from iCarly will take this match 3-0.
Oh, it's such a death sentence to get booped off the side and have to go outside like that. But Yanba, absolutely merciless with the double kill at such a crucial time. There was no way Zephyr could have came back from them.
Play the game's going to go to Kuznetsov.
I wonder what it is.
This is, yeah.
Look at that pin.
Coming out here, big 4-man self-destruct for Kuznetsov. So, Gibby from iCarly, they take the win, 3-0. Back on Busan, it looked like it might have been a back and forth match. It was very, very close on Busan. It was a 2-0 for Gibby, but the first round was extremely close. Gibby from iCarly in the end does take it 3-0 though. So we're gonna throw it to the desk here in just a minute. Let them get a breakdown. I have one question for you, Beatdown. Do you have an MVP for this match?
Cameron, it's definitely Cameron. No, I know. I was just thinking, but it was Cameron. It's gotta be. Like, this guy is he's so good on the main tank role. Like, you could tell his awareness is really good. Always keeping an eye out for shatters. Always seems to know when it's a good time to shatter. We saw so many big plays from him in this series.
Yeah, he built up more shatters in 3 minutes than I build up in an entire game, and that's why I cast and don't play. But that's going to do it for us casters here in Game 2 of our European Open Division. I'm going to throw it back to the desk. I've been Elite. This has been Beatdown Boulevard. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Blake, what'd you guys think?
Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of the casting going on. That it was a super exciting game, and I have Nauri as well as Suds and Bubbles here to break down why we are so excited about going into these games. It wasn't close like maybe we were hoping. It started out close, and as it slowly progressed through, it was like water crumbling on rocks, slowly degrading it into nothingness. So I want to ask you, Nauri, coming into that game 3, what can you tell me? Break it down for me. What happened? Why was it so good?
First thing I want to do is give a shout out to Elite. What you just said there, that is a big mood. So the biggest thing that I noticed coming into Hanamura was the attack that we had with the Pharah and the Hanzo. And what makes it so good is the fact that you can plow damage in from various angles, and it was so good to see this different composition, and it worked out so well for them. They came onto point, and immediately Pharah got 2 pickoffs, and I mean, that was it. GG. They managed to take that first point very quickly, and then they moved on to second point, and they made some interesting compositional swap-offs. They carried on with the hands of Pharah for a little while there, and then of course we had the Widow come out to try and deal with it, and it did very well. In fact, it killed the Pharah mid-barrage at one moment there, stopping the Pharah from getting any value at all. So really well played there. But yeah, I really want to give it to these teams for their interesting compositional points. But then we swapped sides and the GOATs came out. Now I'm going to let Suds tell you a little bit about why GOATs is not too great on these assault maps.
Yeah, so I mean, the GOATs compositions on these assault maps cause teams problems because they draw out these fights really long, and it makes it really difficult to get a team wipe as is necessary on these second points of these 2CP maps, unless you get a really big graviton bomb combo, which we did see a couple of throughout this match, but you know, you can't rely on that to be your only win condition in order to actually make that second cap. So GOAT's not always the best thing, and yeah, as you said, Nauri, that Pharah Hanzo composition, really effective. Well, that's something we see a lot on Nepal Village, and I'm super glad to see it kind of popping up other places where you've got those 2 opposite openings on the point, because it distracts those teams so well.
Now, looking at Gibby from iCarly, they played very well, and going forward through the Open Division, maybe we could see them play versus other teams who are stronger, because as it goes on, obviously you play versus stronger teams going forward. Do you think that there is contention for them to be one of the top 5 teams coming into this? And if so, what do other teams, or in general, what do other teams have to do in order to beat Gibby from iCarly? We'll start it off with you there, Nauri.
Yeesh, that's a difficult question, mostly because I know that there are some fantastic, strong teams in Open Division this season. Gibby played very well. They had quite good coordination. There was some Cameron doing a lot of good work there on that Reinhardt, as Beatdown mentioned earlier, particularly in terms of the way that he holds chokes. So there's a lot of good things coming through from Gibby. I wouldn't put them in my top 5 if I'm perfectly honest with you, but I do think that there is contention there for playoffs possibly. I want to see them go a little bit further. I'd like to see a little bit more from them. I'd like to come up against a team that really pushes them to the extent of their ability, so that we can see kind of where they fit on the hierarchy of open division games. And in terms of what people need to be looking out for in terms of Gibby, Cameron. He gets so much support from his Zarya, from his Zenyatta. They're really rallying behind him all the time, giving him all the space that he needs to pop off. That's definitely something that teams should be looking out for.
To build on to that, I think you're absolutely right. Cameron is a big, scary part of this team, but it's hard to pull something away from here that is the weakness in this team just because it didn't feel like they were tested that hard here. They had a pretty strong showing, really were just dominant in both of those second two maps. A little iffy there at the start. It was a little bit close there on Busan, as we've said, but when you don't see a team really lose too many fights or have too much issue in their play, it's hard to find where the weaknesses are.
So, looking at the other aspect of it, we have Gibby from iCarly coming in here. What does Zephyr need to do to come in here and start to pick up more games? They showed some weak points. What do they need to do to pick it up and to take more games to be in contention for maybe one of the better teams?
I think
Go ahead,
start, we're gonna need to see a little bit better Reinhardt play from them. As Nauri said, we saw Cameron doing a really good job of playing those chokes. You see him, his shoulder is always pretty much touching one of those corners, and that makes it easy for him to retreat into safety, as well as difficult for him to take much damage in general, whereas we were seeing his opposing Reinhardt likes to kind of jump out into the middle of that choke, and that puts you in a really vulnerable position. So as we said, GOAT's compositions are really built around that Reinhardt, so I think that's the place to focus to kind of get the most impact from your, or the most improvement from what you're working on.
And again, to expand on that, the Zenyatta really needs to make sure that his Discord orbs are on point. It was happening too often that Discord was not on the opposing Reinhardt, on Cameron. And when Cameron is the main focal point of that composition, he needs to die. The other thing that I really want to see from these guys is better target prioritization, target focus. There was a point where they had basically cleaned up second point Hanamura. They were on the point, the ticks were going through, and somehow they still lost it. Slowly, the rest of the enemy team were getting back onto point. The rest of Gibby were coming back onto point. They were continuing to contest, and it felt like Zephyr were a little confused. They didn't know who to focus. They didn't know who to plow the damage into, and Gibby did. And they managed to clean it up and stop that push right in its tracks. So, definitely, the Reinhardt, the Zenyatta, and of course, making sure you've got that communication on point.
Well, thank you so much, both of you. You have Nauri as well as Suds and Bubbles from the desk. We had Elite in Beatdown Boulevard. My name's Blake Panishevitz, and this is brought to you by Broadcast.gg. And you want to give us a follow because later today at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, there is going to be the NA Open Division games, and those are bound to be just as exciting. This last game was Gibby from iCarly and Zephyr. Better name, better game. We hope you guys all enjoyed the show, and we will see you guys later.